One of the main things that we want people to take away after going through this initial onboarding with OS3 is we want them to understand the power of APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface. And APIs essentially give the internet all the power that it has. A way to describe them are like translational interfaces, or they're like wormholes between different applications. Two different applications are able to communicate and share resources on the internet when they have an API. So it kind of like allows them to translate. Think about if you went to a foreign country and you couldn't speak the language, but you had like a translation app. That translation app is acting as an API, and it allows you to communicate and really share value with the other people that are there. So that's essentially what you're creating here. When you're creating this step of your business ecosystem, you're creating your own API. You're showing people on the surface, this is what I'm dealing with. These are the applications I'm using, and this is how we can potentially collaborate. So in this first quadrant, we're going to be doing a few things in 4 different steps. We're going to be defining an application we use on one aspect. We're going to be saying the natural system that we'll be learning from related to biomimicry. And finally, the specific aspect of that natural system that relates to this step. So let's go through the first chunk, OS3PI Yoga. We're going to be using Discord as our application. We're going to be learning from eukaryotic cells. And within this step, within the cell, we're going to be learning about the cell membrane. This is all default, so you can literally just copy all of this down. You don't have to come up with this in your own way, and you'll learn a lot more about this a little bit later. For 144.5PI, the application that we're going to be using is Maven. It's a cohort-based course. It's a learning platform where we're going to be sharing more of these courses if you want to go a little bit deeper. The aspect, the natural system that we'll be learning from on this phase is the planet. And then within the planet, the atmosphere is the aspect that ties to what we're doing in this overall process right here. So as you can see, the cell membrane was like the skin of the cell. The atmosphere is like the skin of the planet. So as you see when we go to this next section, 369MyPI, the application that we're going to be using here is Blender BIM. It's going to be how we visualize this overall process. We're going to show people how we're actually building a business ecosystem for them. The natural system that we'll be using on this aspect is a human being. So a lot of times people look at biomimicry and they're always looking outside of themselves, but we think human is the most technologically advanced natural system in the world. So we're going to learn from that as we learn more about how we can interface with different businesses and teams. Within a human, we have the integumentary system, so that's our skin. Finally, 432RPI, we're going to be using GitHub to show all this. A tree is the natural system, and then the water is kind of going to be the skin of the tree and carry all the information.